Hello, world. Your favorite podcast host, Anthony Diaz, here with another episode of 50 States of Terror. I am a hot mess right now. I am in the car. So here's what's going on. So, the majority of my time now at my workstation, at my home, where I usually do all my creative stuff, my podcast, my writing, and all that stuff, it has been taken over by grad school. And grad school is awesome. Grad school is great. It's hard. I had my first class on Monday, R for programming, in R Studio. And if you don't know what that is, it's a programming software. And holy shit, am I lost. I have absolutely zero experience doing this type of stuff. And it showed, man. It showed. Man, I was so worried that I would be way behind on the programming and all this stuff because I've been out of school for so long. And my worries were confirmed because holy shit, I am super lost. But I was reassured that as long as I tried, and because it's programming, so like it's not like something like you would read a chapter or something and take notes on it and then regurgitate dates and information. Like if you were a history major, nothing wrong with that, but like this is all 100% hands-on. So I went in class, I Googled so much R Studio stuff on codes and code blocks and all this shit that I was like, I have fucking no idea what the hell I'm doing. But after doing the practice quizzes, the practice exams, the practice homework, and then doing the homework itself, the homework is still hard. I'm still like, I'm like 40% confident now. 40% confident in what I can do, which is a lot coming from absolutely nothing, from zero. I understand how like line works and line items, source material, source into visual, you render all the stuff to HTML. Like I'm slowly getting it because I used to build websites in GeoCities in the 90s. And I understand like line items and making sure like the code works in certain ways because you have to close the code and all that shit. What's frustrating? Well, not frustrating. What I'm realizing is the pace in which you're supposed to be. I feel like I am like maybe 1 month behind. And I did my due diligence, man. I read this stuff, I watched YouTube videos, and it was slowly coming together, but in practice it wasn't there. It's not clicking. That's the problem. It's not clicking. It's starting to click now, and we're already past week 1. So I'm slowly getting it. But to make a long story short, like all this stuff all this stuff that I have available for me to do all the creative stuff that I want to do, it's being taken over by grad school. And it's fine. Hence, right now, recording episode in the car with this setup I have right here. So off camera, I have a tray. I hope that didn't fuck up my audio. I have a steering wheel tray that's normally used for like, I don't know, eating food, I guess, because there's spots for a drink and shit. It was only $8 on Amazon. It's super flimsy, but it seems to get the job done on being stationary. And I have my Rode mic here that's on the tray and recording this episode. Now, normally I would have, a screen open. I'd be reading a script or trying to do it off the cuff. But I have notes. I have notes for the episode for Virginia. So yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this old school. Like we're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this work because I don't want my creativity, my creative outlets to falter just because I am trying to better myself and going to grad school and getting my master's. Go Irish, by the way. University of Notre Dame, baby. Go Irish. I am confident that I can make this work if I just manage my time responsibly and manage my time effectively. So while I'm sitting in line waiting to pick up children, I will, one, do this, two, read source material for the class, or write, or maybe take a power nap. I don't know. I don't know. But I do find myself like sitting in front of my computer and coding and learning probability and statistics right now, and hours on end until like 11:30 or midnight, where I know I have to fall asleep or get some sleep because I have to be up at least by 6 o'clock in the morning to get the kids ready and go to work because I have to report to work. So, you know, it's just something that you have to do. And here I am in the car recording. Virginia. So what am I even doing? What am I doing? Virginia. Doing the Oozlefinch and the Goochland devil monkey. That's what we're doing. So hell yeah. Here we go. Virginia. And after this, we only have like, I think 3 more states left. I think. Yeah, like 3 more states, and that's it. 50 states are done. And then we start back over on A, and we do different cryptids, or we start doing like folklore or international. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing international. I'll do 2 more international ones. And I'll do maybe one more U.S. territory before we go back into start over on A's with 50 states. I think that's the original plan. But like always, plans change. So yeah, here we go. Car recording here. Virginia. So here are the notes that I handwrote, and my handwriting is not all that great, but here we go. Here we go. History of Virginia. Virginia is our first state to, holy cow, what am I doing? Did I mess this up already? I think I did. All right, here we go. Let me bust out my notes from my phone, because I know I did that earlier today, just to make sure that I have everything situated and everything good to go. Let me just talk amongst yourselves. This makes for really good content, I swear. Okay, so here's what I wrote. As we are wrapping up the U.S. states, we have finally made it to arguably the most significant state in the history of the United States of America. This was the location of the first permanent English settlement of North America. Like the majority of other states we have covered, Virginia was once inhabited by the indigenous peoples of the Algonquian, Iroquoian, and Siouan. Ooh, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Siouan. The first English colonized location was Jamestown in 1607. Of course, this was after the Spanish explorers. Now, Virginia is our first state to resort to cannibalism. After the famine of 1609, the Virginia Company colony somehow survived, but had to resort to eating leather and cannibalism. Virginia's capital would go from Jamestown to Williamsburg to finally Richmond in 1780. During this time frame from 1607 to 1780, the tobacco cash the tobacco cash crop and slavery were the financial drivers of the state and would be for a substantial period of time. Wars broke out around amongst the Virginian Indian nations, especially during the French and Indian War, which was 1754 to 1763. Virginia became the wealthiest colony amongst the original 13. In 1766, Virginia, along with the rest of the colonies, would declare independence from Great Britain because the colonies didn't want to pay their taxes. Remember, folks, that's why. On June 25th, 1788, Virginia ratified the U.S. Constitution. Kentucky broke from Virginia in 1792. By the 1850s, tobacco prices declined and much of the farmland suffered from overfarming. Population grew to 1.2 million in 1860. Then in 1861, Virginia succeeded and joined the Confederacy. Virginia played a massive role in the American Civil War from 1861 to 1865. West Virginia was created in 1863 by Southern Unionists. Virginia's economy took a nosedive, but stabilized after the recovery of tobacco, coal mining, and the industrialization from 1883 until the 1960s. The state constitution hindered poor whites and damn near blocked African Americans from voting. We go into Jim Crow laws and all that shit. It's very interesting too, because if you were to YouTube Jim Crow laws and voting rights in the original 13 colonies from 1880s all the way to suffrage for women voting, and basically just all around suffrage for women voting and for African American voting and minority voting, there is a lot of really interesting timetables that occur. Because you would imagine, like, by the 1960s, you had fair voting privileges. That's not the case, and it's not the case now. It's damn near demoralizing when you're watching these YouTube videos and reading up on the history and going into legit history books too. You don't follow was it McGraw? I think McGraw is now, or McHill. I can't remember. The majority of all the textbooks, they're very vague, and it's watered down history now. So you got to be very careful. Read as much as you can. There's a couple books that I do know. There's one book, what is it? History That My Teacher Never Taught Me. I think that's what it is. It's a really good book. It gives you a really good factual U.S. history, which I try to do on this show, and be funny and joyful, like after we talk about cryptids and shit. But yeah, that was my soapbox rant. Here we go. Within the 20th century, the Byrd organization dominated politics. Go look them up. It's BYRD organization. And unless I'm reading it wrong, they controlled the political side of Virginia for a very long time. And they sided with a then right-facing Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? So, like, because if you know the history of how politics changed and how the majority of Democrats were becoming Republicans and Republicans were becoming Democrats, and the fall of the Whig Party and the fall of abortionists. I can't talk. The fall of all the other political parties and how it stemmed into now two political parties, Democratic and Republican Party, and a lot of same old bullshit that fell. Anyway, yeah. But the Byrd organization pretty much ran politics in Virginia for a very long time. Let's see. In the 1930s, the Great Depression brought rough times to the country, and Virginia's economy was relatively strong during and after World War II. And then my notes kind of stopped because I think I lost that page for the rest of the notes. But after World War II, Virginia became a substantial state for industrial manufacturing, coal mining, power. There and I lived in Virginia in Quantico for about 7 years, I think. And Virginia has an incredible amount of natural history and science history, and obviously just regular, history. It's a beautiful state. If you haven't been to the East Coast, if you're a West Coaster and never been to the East Coast, you need to go to Virginia. Virginia is so damn beautiful. The Potomac River goes because when I used to work for U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and I went to Shepherdstown, West Virginia for NCTC, and that part, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Right smack near the Appalachian Mountains, the Potomac River falls through. So much history. I think I've reached the age where you either get really into barbecuing or World War II history or Civil War history. Like I'm all three of them. There's so much Civil War history, so much. It's fascinating. But I digress. Virginia is an amazing state. It's so gorgeous, so beautiful. A lot of history. So yeah. But yeah, and what's cool about Virginia too is like you can just hop 2 hours north and go to Baltimore, and then you hit 4 hours south, and I think you're already close to Raleigh or Charlotte. So yeah, really cool. So that's enough about that. Let's go into the cryptids. Let's go into what we are talking about today. The Oozlefinch, and the Goochland devil monkey. So we're going to talk about a cryptid. I say cryptid in quotations. That is 100% something that I knew absolutely nothing about from my military days. But in 1905, at Fort Monroe, Virginia, Captain Henry McPherson Merriam reported seeing a large-eyed, awkward flying bird outside the Officers Club. And if you don't know what an Officers Club is, it is often shortened to the O Club, but it is an establishment for officers for the military only. So no one listed allowed unless you're specifically invited. Usually they're on base, and the O Club is a meeting place for officers. There is usually food, drinks, lounging areas, etc. Well, Captain Merriam's sighting was not the only one. Others have claimed to see this bird with sketches, and some have actually sketched the bird. The bird became mascot for military units beginning in World War I. The Railway Artillery Reserve and the 42nd Field Artillery Brigade, to name a couple. The bird is described as a large, bloodshot-eyed bird the size of a pelican, and it flies backwards, tail first. So, the Oozlefinch. So I don't know if it's an Oozlefinch or Oozlefinch. It's Oozlefinch, and it looks amazing. What am I doing here? Oh, did I just screw this up? I think I did. Oh, damn it! Did I forget my notes? I think I remember my notes. Okay, anyway. Yeah, the Oozlefinch. It's like has a long neck, big like ostrich-looking face, large bloodshot eyes, the size and I think like the body of a pelican, and it was used as like kind of humor during World War I, and I mean, it became a mascot. The thing looks it looks funky as hell, and to say that it flies backwards is just incredibly amazing. I absolutely love that it says it's flying backwards. Okay, I'm all jacked up here today, dude. I am all jacked up because I totally am missing one full page of notes. But next, we're gonna talk about the Goochland devil monkey. Now, the Goochland devil monkey. From what I remember, I only have the second part of the notes here. So what I remember is it was first sighted in the 1930s, and sightings came from Tennessee. I think it started from Tennessee, and the devil monkey is a shortened baboon-like creature. So it's hairy, sharp canine teeth with baboon-like features, and then the hind legs are super muscular like a kangaroo, because it's said in the sighting that it would jump large areas, like huge areas of like land or whatever, like upwards of like to 20 to 40 feet in one shot. It would just hop. And what's very fascinating about it is that it started the sightings were in Tennessee, and it became posted in a national newspaper, and then more sightings started happening around Tennessee area, and eventually the first official sighting happened in Virginia. And I really wish I had the notes that I can go off of. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me just find out if I can get the website back up. Again, talk amongst yourselves, because this is how today's episode is going to be. This is going to be incredibly off the cuff. Here we go. Let's see, where was the first sighting in Virginia? It was Saltville, in Saltville, Virginia. Now, so the first official sighting was in 1959 in Saltville, Virginia, and there was a couple driving in their town, and they say that an ape-like beast came out and was like scratching at the car, and it's the daughter goes on to quote that it had light taffy colored hair with a white blaze down its neck and underbelly. It stood on two large, well-muscled back legs and had shorter front legs or arms. Now, what's interesting is that several days after this incident, it happened again. And it happened to a pair of nurses that were driving in a convertible, and they said that a ape-like creature went and was starting to tear open the top of their car. There are multiple different sightings happening across Virginia, Tennessee, as far west as Arizona. This sparked a 1967 investigation by researcher John Green, and in 1973 by cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman. If you don't know who Lauren Coleman is one of the OGs of cryptozoology. And he had an interview on Animal Planet about the investigation, saying that the claims were sincere. And I'm paraphrasing, because the claims, during the interview, he was saying that the claims were accurate. One of the more recent encounters occurred. Good, I can't talk today. On January 12th in 2006, with the claim that a hideous creature attacked the family's dog. Pictures of the carcass were online, and although the picture doesn't match the description of a hairy, small-like primate, it still offers an interesting glimpse of what could have attacked the dog if the pictures are authentic. So if you search online for the January 12, 2006 claim that this devil monkey attacked a dog, there is a picture, and it looks off. So like it looks like a mummified, like as if you remember those, like in the movies, a mummified creature. It looked like sunken in, and the skin is blackened. It looked like that. And it said attacked by the dog if the pictures were authentic, and it just looks off. Now, am I saying that the pictures are fake? I'm definitely not, because if they are real, then that is one hell of piece of photographic evidence of this could be cryptid of a devil monkey, a small baboon creature. Now, there is something called a gugwe, Gugwe, which is described as a Bigfoot type creature, but accounts don't necessarily say that these two are related, as the gugwe is a large humanoid creature and the devil monkey is a shortened baboon. So yeah, let's give these cryptids a rating. 1 to 5 golden Nessies, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I'm gonna do these together. I think these are easily top 4 category cryptids. And I think the devil monkey is the one that really takes it to that mark. The Oozlefinch by itself, I mean, I would probably say it by itself. Okay, I do like the fact that it was a creature that was seen, and they decided to do a mascot of it, and there's not a whole lot of sightings after this incident over on Captain Miriam's sighting. What I do like about the devil monkey is that this could be plausible to where maybe in the 30s there was maybe a zoo outbreak, or maybe someone had an exotic pet that got out and sparked this like, not mass hysteria, but like sparked this concept that there might be a devil monkey out there, and was describing it as such, a very small baboon like creature. I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. But the fact that this thing could exist is what brings this into like the 4 category, the 4 golden Nessies category. Because I do like the fact that the possibility of a pygmy, would it be accurate to call it a pygmy primate because it's small, like a pygmy horse or a pygmy pig? But it doesn't matter. A dwarfened baboon like creature. Is it possible that a primate could have a deformity, that it's shortened, long-haired, and could resemble this? Absolutely. It is possible. What I like about this is the connectivity of how many times we see a sighting from the 1930s all the way up to 2006. Has there been a sighting after 2006? I couldn't find anything in my short amount of time doing the research for this one, but the fact that there have been sightings from the 30s, the 50s, the 70s, the 90s, and in the 2000s, it brings a level of credibility. Also, when you say that Lauren Coleman investigated this and found that their testimonies seemed to be sincere. Like, because it didn't say anything about how they were the original people who claimed the sighting were out to get fame. It was Lauren Coleman went over and followed through to the investigation and stated that to him that the testimonies and the claims seemed to be sincere. So I mean, that doesn't mean that what happened came from a devil monkey. What that does say is that something did happen, and a small creature scratched the shit out of their car and destroyed the top of their convertible and attacked their dog and all of this stuff. So it's interesting, very interesting. That's why I give it I'll give like a 4.2. I know I'm very biased on a lot of cryptids because like if you find one, well, if I find one that's really enjoyable to talk about and enjoyable to research, it automatically gets bumped up to a 4. But yeah, so I like this one. Devil monkeys is probably the one that pushed this to that 4 level. So yeah. So just remember, if you're on the East Coast and you see something small with large kangaroo muscular legs, no, you didn't. Just leave it alone. Or we live in a day and age where camera phones are everywhere. Take a snapshot, dude. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Thank you again for listening to this sporadic and obviously unorganized episode of 50 States of Terror for Virginia. I apologize, Virginia. But hey, man, grad school takes precedence. Grad school is number one on priority. And I love the state. I love Virginia. And this is gonna happen a lot for the rest of the episodes until I graduate. Oh yeah, so that also reminds me that the YouTube channel and all the social media posts like TikTok and Instagram, it's gonna falter. It's gonna hinder posting and that type of stuff just for a little bit until I figure out a really good schedule to do posts, like to do videos and do the shorts and things like that. But I know I can do this. I know I can do these audio recordings because they're easy to do and they're easy to edit. Because really, all I can do, I don't even have to edit this. I can just post it as is, and it's fine. You know, I'm not going to win an award anytime soon. This is, but yeah. So, thank you again for coming along this journey on this really weird episode of 56 of Terror. And I truly appreciate every single one of you. Hell yeah. Ziggy's wisdom. Ziggy's wisdom is coming from experience. Learn how to manage your time. If you have a lot on your plate and if you can delegate. If you have help, go seek help. And if you want to be creative and you don't want to stop being creative, learn how to manage your time. So I can tell you right now, I'm not writing a whole lot these days, and I need to be writing. I need to put that time there somewhere where I'm comfortable enough to step aside from homework for at least 2 hours and just be creative, because everybody needs that outlet if you don't have one. And I do need to like find a physical outlet too, because my body's telling me I need to get limber again. I need to go walking, need to do some push-ups and stuff like that. But the mind, your brain needs that too. So you need to manage your time properly. Find a way. Just find a way, or you make one. Hell yeah. Okay. This is the calm before the storm. I think this is the calm after the storm now. All right. Later, y'all.